In Ephesians, Paul writes this: "Do not be drunk with wine, instead be filled with the Spirit." Filled with the Spirit? I used to wonder how I could get that. I wanted to be filled with the Spirit so that my Christian life could be more supernaturally powerful. So I did some research, hoping to find out how I could become a Spirit-filled person. And I discovered that this phrase means the exact opposite of what I thought. Being filled with the Spirit does not mean that you have more of the Spirit than someone else. Instead, it means that the Spirit has more of you. In other words, you have learned to surrender to the Spirit's control and influence, allowing the Spirit to take the reins of your life. Now, to be honest, when I hear those words, they sound a bit disconnected from reality. If you're thinking the same thing, I get it. So I'm going to try to actually show you how this relationship with the Holy Spirit happens, using a few generous volunteers. Bear with me. Let's think of a person divided into three main components. Each of my volunteers here represents one of these components. First, the body. The body is everything about us that is physical. Of course, this is the part that we are most familiar with, and definitely the part that gets the most focus in our culture. We're born with a body. We eat right and go see the doctor and take medicine and exercise to make sure our body stays healthy and looks good. The body is also made up of all our physical wants and desires. Most of us treat our bodies as if they are the most important component of who we are. Second, the soul. The soul is the seat of the emotions, mind, personality, will, and our moral compass or conscience. In the Bible, our soul is referred to as our heart. Throughout our lives, we naturally develop and grow this part of us, just like the body. We go to school and learn. Our parents and teachers and friends help us develop priorities and values. The soul may not be as outward or obvious as the body, but it still receives a large part of our focus. And finally, the spirit. We're all born with a spirit inside of us. It was placed there when God breathed the breath of life into all human beings. It's the part of us that allows us to connect with God like no other living creature can. When we believe in Jesus' redemptive work and invite Him in, the Spirit of God is planted in us. And now we become followers of Jesus. This is only the beginning, because now we have a problem. See, all three parts of us are bound together. Whatever happens to the body affects the soul and the spirit, and vice versa. These ropes represent that interconnectedness. So now we have a body and soul who are used to running the show. We've been developing them for years and years. They're both big, powerful parts of who we are. And we have this third part, our spirit, where the Holy Spirit has taken up residence. Being a follower of Jesus means that the Spirit is supposed to take charge. Our body and soul must learn to submit to the Spirit. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Say we have a big decision to make. The body might have a clear answer or desire. It'll say, go this way, make this choice. The soul might hold back a bit because of your conscience or intellect or emotions. But over years and years, your body and soul have learned to work in sync. For the most part, they move in the same direction. Then the Spirit comes along and offers a new way, God's way. But its voice is small and weak compared to the body and soul, so it's usually drowned out. It can create enough tension to make your soul uncomfortable, but if there's a fight, the body's usually going to win out. And this isn't only true for new Christians. It's true for most of us. In our churches, most of our focus is directed at growing and changing the body and the soul. For the body, we usually try to make a bunch of rules. You know, don't touch, don't look at, don't speak, and stay away from the evil world. We also love to teach the soul, developing the mind and the intellect. We work hard to heal and understand our emotions through support groups and counseling. We focus on ethical teachings that help us to develop our consciences, and even work hard to shape personalities to act more like a good Christian. Even this video is primarily focused on your soul. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's all good, but it falls short of real transformation. This is where the spiritual disciplines come in. The spiritual disciplines help us to learn to cooperate and surrender to the Spirit's way in our lives. They are a way to quiet our bodies and get outside of this conflict waging within us and train ourselves to hear and be directed by the Spirit. And this is where real transformation can happen. For example, when you choose solitude and sit quietly and seek the Spirit's direction, it quiets your mind and stills your body. It puts you in an unnatural position where the Spirit's influence can grow in your life. When you bow in prayer, your body takes on a position that reminds it that it isn't in charge. And again, this creates space for the Spirit. Too many of us have adopted the work harder model of transformation. It doesn't work. It's very strenuous and filled with frustration. But if our goal is to grow the influence of the Spirit of God in our lives, then the Christian life becomes much simpler and real transformation begins. Watchman Nee said this: "The enigma of the Western Church is that it is driven primarily by soul power and not spirit power. Soul ministry will never birth spirit. Only spirit produces or births spirit." Do you want to be transformed? Do you want to walk the way of Jesus? Begin with these spiritual disciplines and allow your body and soul to cooperate with God's Spirit within you.